Today, I will explain to you how to write a Band 9 essay about causes and solutions in IELTS Writing Task 2. There are many question types that you can get in IELTS Writing Task 2, but causes and solutions essays are very common. So, in this lesson, I will give you an example of a question that describes some problem and asks you to write about its causes and solutions. After that, I'll show you a Band 9 essay structure for this type of essay. And finally, I will explain to you how to quickly produce ideas for your answer. As a result, we will write a Band 9 answer together. Here is an example of IELTS Writing Task 2 question that you can get on the real exam. Let's read the question card. Influence of human beings on the world's ecosystem is leading to the extinction of species and loss of biodiversity. What are the primary causes of loss of biodiversity? What solutions can you suggest? Write at least 250 words. When you get a question card like this, your first aim is to understand what the question asks you to do. Your question card consists of two things. First is statement. Second, questions or instructions addressed directly to you. So in our case, we have two questions. The first one is about causes of loss of biodiversity, and the second one is about solutions to this problem. Questions about causes and solutions often appear together in IELTS question cards. Let's see how you can tackle this type of essay. Here is a Band 9 answer structure for causes-solutions essays. You start with an introduction. In the introduction, you paraphrase the statement and tell the examiner that you're going to describe causes and solutions of the specific problem. After that, you write body paragraph 1. In this paragraph, you describe causes. Next, you write body paragraph 2, and in this paragraph, you describe solutions. Finally, you write a conclusion. In the conclusion paragraph, you briefly summarize what you have written before. You should spend about 40 minutes on writing task 2. Wait, but what are you going to write about? Well, before you actually start writing, you have to dedicate 2 to 4 minutes to produce ideas for your writing. This way, you will know what you are actually going to write about, and your essay will be more structured. So, we're starting to plan our essay by producing ideas. To produce ideas for causes and solutions essay, you have to determine 3 things. First is a problem. Second are causes of this problem. And third are solutions to this problem. The problem is already given in your question card. It's loss of biodiversity. Or in other words, some animals and plants are dying out. Now let's think about its causes and solutions. Don't be afraid of simple ideas. Remember, getting a high score means writing simple things well. Here are some basic ideas that may come to your mind. Causes. Why animals and plants are dying out? So the first one is change of the natural habitats. When humans artificially transform the environment, like build roads, houses, etc., they destroy animals' natural habitat. Second is pollution. So pollution negatively changes the flow of energy, the chemical constitution of the environment, and the climate in general. So a lot of species cannot live under such conditions and simply die out. And third is overexploitation of resources. For example, too intense farming exhausts the soil, or too frequent fishing, which does not leave enough time for fish to reproduce, makes fish disappear. It's enough to give one, or occasionally two, causes in your essay. But we don't start writing yet. Now let's think about possible solutions. How can we stop animals and plants from disappearing? Well, first solution is to protect areas. Protecting areas where wild animals live is an excellent way to save the environment and prevent species from dying out. And solution 2 is to promote awareness. So, by informing the general population about the disadvantages of loss of biodiversity, we can encourage people to be more conscious of the environment. One or two solutions are enough for a good essay. Now, after we've collected some ideas, it's time to structure our thoughts into an essay. So, we start writing our essay with an introduction. Usually, I write the introduction in 2 sentences. In the first sentence, I paraphrase the question. Basically, I introduce the problem of my essay to the examiner, but I don't use the same words as in the question card. I restate the problem with synonyms. And here's how we can do it. Despite knowing about biodiversity's importance for a long time, human activity has been causing massive extinctions of different species. Look at how I used synonyms. Instead of saying, influence of human beings on the world's ecosystem, I used the phrase, human activity. And instead of the phrase, is leading to, I wrote, has been causing. Also, I substituted extinction of species and loss of biodiversity by massive extinctions of different species. And also, I want to draw your attention to the beginning of the sentence. To highlight the importance of the problem, I wrote, despite knowing about biodiversity's importance for a long time. That's the first sentence of the introduction. In the second sentence, I tell the examiner what I'm going to describe in my essay. And here is how I wrote it. This essay will examine the main causes of loss of biodiversity and possible solutions to this problem. Look at how I started this sentence. I used the phrase, this essay will examine, and this is a very nice way to explain what you're going to write about. You can use this phrase in introductions for different essays. Perfect! We've done the introduction. Our introduction is clear and brief, and that's what we want in IELTS essay. After the introduction, we start writing the body paragraphs. The first body paragraph discusses the possible causes of biodiversity loss. The first sentence of this paragraph should contain a general idea of the whole paragraph. In our case, we just state 2 main causes of the biodiversity loss. Here is my first sentence. The 2 main causes of species extinction are change of their habitats and overexploitation of natural resources. Remember, we have produced these ideas earlier, so now I simply plug them into my sentence. Excellent! Moving on. Now I have to explain the first cause and give an example. Here's how I wrote it. When humans artificially transform the environment, they destroy vegetation and animals' natural habitat. For instance, to build new roads, people cut down trees and cement the soil, altering the environment. Because of that, a lot of species die out. note how I use the linking words. For instance, to give an example, because of that, to show consequences. And it's very good to use linking words. Now look at the general pattern of this block. I mentioned change of their habitats as the first cause of biodiversity loss in my very first sentence. And now I explained what does this actually mean. And then I supported my point of view with an example. Such logical progression of your thoughts will help you to get a high score in IELTS writing. Next, in a similar way, we explain the second cause and give an example. Also, when activities connected with capturing and harvesting a natural resource are too intense in a particular area, the resource becomes exhausted. For example, too frequent fishing doesn't leave enough time for fish to reproduce and make them disappear. Again, I use the phrase "for example" to show that I'm giving an example. Always use linking words in your essay. To finish the body paragraph, you can optionally add a sentence to summarize your previous thoughts. Here is how I wrote it. Thus, human activities often deplete local flora and fauna and cause loss of biodiversity. Well done! We've finished our first body paragraph together. Now we can start writing body paragraph 2, which is about solutions. As before, in the first sentence of our second body paragraph, we state the general idea of the whole paragraph. In our case, we mention two possible solutions to the problem. Our problem is the loss of biodiversity, and we have produced ideas for the solutions earlier. And here is how I wrote this. Some possible solutions to this problem are protecting natural areas and promoting awareness among people. You can see that I clearly stated both solutions in this sentence. After that, we explain each of the solutions and support them with examples when it's possible. Here's how I wrote this block of text. By protecting areas where human activity is limited and avoiding overexploitation of its resources, we can save the untouched environment and prevent species from dying out. Moreover, the next step in fighting biodiversity loss is informing the general population about the dangers of this problem. This way, people will be more conscious of the environment and won't overuse or destroy its resources. As you can see, I started by explaining the first solution, and then I moved to the second solution. I used the linking word "moreover" to make a smooth transition from the first solution to the second solution. And I used the phrase "this way" to indicate that I'm writing about the consequences. You can notice that I did not use specific examples in this case, but that's fine, since I explained the solutions in detail and we were not required by the task to give specific examples. Okay, that's it with the body paragraph 2. Well done! Now we're done with the introduction and 2 body paragraphs, and it's time to start writing the conclusion paragraph. The conclusion paragraph shortly summarizes all previous ideas without giving new information. For Causes Solutions essay, you can write the conclusion paragraph in the following way. Sentence 1. Restate the causes of the problem. Sentence 2. Reminds the reader of possible solutions. And here is my conclusion. To conclude, people's activities that change the environment have negative impact on the world's ecosystem. However, we can significantly lessen the extinction of species by protecting natural areas and enlightening people about this problem. I simply restated the causes and solutions that I already mentioned in my body paragraphs. Remember, you should not put any new ideas into your conclusion. You have already described your ideas in the body paragraphs. Now look at how I started the conclusion paragraph. I used the phrase "to conclude." It's a very good way to start a conclusion paragraph, because it serves as an indicator to the reader that you're writing a conclusion. You can also start your conclusion with the following phrases: to summarize, in sum, in conclusion. Look at how I use synonyms throughout my essay. I group two causes of biodiversity loss by a common phrase: people's activities that change the environment. To indicate the problem of biodiversity loss, I wrote, have negative impact on the world's ecosystem. Then, I used the linking word however to highlight a transition from causes to solutions. For the solutions, I stated protecting natural areas and paraphrased informing general population into enlightening people about this problem. That's it! We have finished writing our Band 9 essay. Congratulations! You've done a really great job for watching it all. And here is our final version of the essay, with all the paragraphs put together. The whole essay contains 256 words. By IELTS rules, you have to write a minimum of 250 words in Task 2 essay for both general and academic exams. Otherwise, you will lose your points. But you should find a golden balance between writing too little words and losing points, and writing too many words and running out of time. Our Band 9 answer structure for IELTS essay will help you to achieve that goal. You can check out a text version of this tutorial on IELTS App website using the following link. We also have plenty of other useful IELTS writing tutorials, as well as full IELTS reading and IELTS listening tests. Don't hesitate to check them out! I really hope that you enjoyed this lesson. Thank you very much for watching it.